Great God Almighty, I just want to feel you. Feel
Thank you, Jerry.
Welcome. Shall I go have a seat?
I think, therefore, wow, I sound so loud. It sounds so loud. I'm afraid to speak in my normal voice.
He's sounding.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Can you hear him? He sounds very cool.
Yes, he does.
Well, first of all, thank you for being here. I know that the weather is pretty nice. And I did ride down on my motorcycle and thought, I could just keep going.
Thank you for staying.
But yes, thank you for being here. And so we'll begin by acknowledging that this month, one of the 12 powers is love, and this is the month that we focus on love at Unity. And you can think of this not as traditional relationship love, but love as a harmonizing force in our lives in all things we do. So connection to all things, if we can bring that love from in here, that deep resonance of appreciation, of gratitude, of harmonization to something, then chances are we can heal whatever it is that ails us. But it starts with us, right? We have to bring that, we have to nurture that along. And so we have a candle that is pink in color, for the power of love is pink. It resides in our heart space, and we honor it this month. And so I honor that power, that presence of love in each one of you, and thank you for being here. And then we also light this candle, the white candle, to acknowledge the Christ consciousness within each one of us as well, that light of life, that light of beingness. I don't know how you all feel, but I know that one of the greatest gifts I've given myself in the last 10 years has been to tell myself over and over again how grateful and appreciative I am to be alive. And if you can start there, so much more can come from that. And it requires a conversation in our own heads, right? Because anybody here get stuff in their head that doesn't really help? Yeah. So we have to rewire. It's almost like we have to rewire our own thinking. And so part of that is to actually sit in moments with yourself and rekindle some values in yourself, or start a conversation with yourself that changes the narrative that you might be having in that moment, right? But we can do that, and it begins with noticing. So I appreciate and see the light in each and every one of you. And so thank you for being here. Leanne.
Good afternoon, Unity community. Everyone is welcome. All people, all faiths, all lifestyles. And if you're with us for the first time, or the 100th time, or online, you're welcome here. Thank you. We honor the indigenous people who have cared for these lands for millennia, and we are grateful to work, play, live alongside of them. Now please join me in saying our Unity Vancouver Island statement together. Unity Vancouver Island is a growing, unfolding, expanding center of might and love, mighty to attract its good and radiate good to others. Now please take a moment and take a deep breath and settle into the knowing. There is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. All good, all love, all intelligence, right here, right now. I remember that this presence is not somewhere outside there. It is the very essence of who I am. I am one with this presence, one with love, one with goodness, and so it is. Now please enjoy a song from Jerry called Best.
I'm changing up the set list already. Just going by what's been said and felt. And maybe we'll even get you singing. Who knows? Let's I've been thinking wrong for half of my life. Not a little too long, but I'm finally getting it right. I've been holding on to nothing at all. But I'm losing my grip since I heard love's call. It's stronger every day. My heart is beating. Stronger every day. Gonna go where it's leading me. Stronger every day. My heart is beating. And all of these words, they've been spoken before. What I'm singing about right now, I'm shouting out an open door. Jesus and Marley were right. There was only one love. Nothing else in this world worth singing about. No more. Stronger every day. My heart is beating. Stronger every day. Gonna go where it's leading me. Stronger every day. My heart is beating. Stronger every day. Gonna go where it's leading me. Harmonica. Be very delightful when I was playing it, but isn't all of these words? I know they've been spoken before, but I'm singing them out from my heart, shouting out an open door. Jesus and Marley were right. There is only one love. Nothing else in this world worth singing about. No more. Stronger every day. My heart is beating. Stronger every day. Gonna go where it's leading me. Stronger every day. My heart is beating. Stronger every day. Gonna go where it's leading me into life as a lover. To the heart of another. With my eyes to discover I'm on my way. Yes, I'm on my way. And I'm on my way. Stronger every day. Yes, I'm on my way. Every day, every day. Let's try it, why not? Repeat after me portion of the stronger every day. My heart is beating stronger every day. Go where it's leading, stronger every day. Stronger every day. Stronger every day. Stronger every day. That worked out better than the one I was going to do. Excellent. Yeah. Got to roll with it.
Hello again. Today after service is an orientation session. It is offered for everyone considering membership in Unity and what it involves. Please join Reverend Thomas in the library after service, and everyone is welcome. If you are interested in being on one of the teams, if you are interested in being on a team that offers after service one-on-one prayer, sign up for the workshop that will give you the skills and confidence to pray out loud with others in a life-affirming way. Sign up through the calendar on our website, unityvancouverisland.com. There is still time to register. Also, forgetting the little task. And if you are, there is still time to register for the Unity Canada virtual conference from Friday, May the 1st to Sunday, May the 3rd. Joshua Holloway will be the musician on Friday evening and Saturday. Unity Vancouver's fabulous musicians will be playing for the Sunday service, with Reverend Patricia doing the talk. For the full details and registration, please go to unitycanada.org. Note, there will be no person in service in Nanaimo on May the 3rd. And now the daily word. So for the word for, it went away. The word for Sunday, April the 19th is friendly. I greet others with a friendly and open heart. The Bible contains many stories that encourages hospitality towards strangers. For instance, Jesus welcomed everyone into his ministry, from the hungry and the sick to strangers and social outcasts. He loved unconditionally. That same loving energy is within me. When I greet others with a friendly smile, I not only am sharing one of the greatest lessons of Jesus, I'm expanding my world and giving myself a chance to live and learn and grow. If I feel hesitant meeting new people, I remember how it felt to be welcomed by friendly people when I was new to a school, a job, a church, or a town. I was grateful for those people who extended themselves in friendship to me. These memories inspire me to be friendly now. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. That is from Matthew 25:23. And now we will have another song from Jerry, and then after that, Thomas's talk.
from the bottom of my heart. I keep remembering that I forgot again. I just don't get it, then I understand again. Love is reaching out from every fingertip, and life is calling out from the middle of its richness. I'm about to cry right out, maybe fall upon my knees. I can't believe this thing is happening to me. It's taking me over. It's taking me over. Washing me over. Over and over again. Again. And it feels like the first time when I'm in this place. There really is something about all this talk about grace. And there's a river flowing through a love that never ends. Built me a boat so I can gently row again. Together now, again. Washing me over. Washing me over. Taking me over. Over and over. Over and over. Over and over again. Still feels like the first time when I'm in this place. There really is something about all this talk about grace. Talk about grace. There's a river flowing through a love that never ends. Build me a boat so I can gently row. Gently row again. 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 Over and over again.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay. I'm sorry? Ah, thank you.
Rockin'.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything until everybody tells me how great I am. It's the way this works.
Fantastic. I think Rush picked the wrong drummer.
Let's not get started on that.
That was last time.
So much. I was in Kentucky a couple of weeks ago with Martha Creek and 16 other Unity ministers for 4 days. It was pretty great. I'd say my biggest aha moment was when we were doing opening introductions. Everybody was introducing themselves. Although we all kind of knew each other, we also didn't know each other. And there was 2 people that shared just how incredibly joyful they were to be in their congregations and to be ministers. And my first thought for myself was, wow, I don't know if I still feel that way. Like, you know, it's been a grind sort of from when I started at Unity to becoming the minister here, just all of the stuff I've had to do, and have I really had the opportunity to just sit down with myself and be joyful for it all? And as joyful as I am in my life, that for me, it was this great opportunity to notice that, am I living that or not? So what I committed to was reminding myself every day of how incredible it is that I get to do this. Because even though I think that, so on the intellectual side, I think that, but I don't know if I was fully embodying it. You know, there's a difference between what we think and then really having it be alive inside of us. And so I apologize if that has felt like a miss for any of you, that I'm maybe not as joyful as I could be in this, and maybe you haven't noticed, and maybe it's not even anything you're concerned about. However, just for me, I thought I would share that with you, that was noticing for me. So my commitment going forward is to even be more joyful and more excited to be here. So here we go. Here we go. Let's be excited, shall we? Come on. Start where you are, right where you are. That's all you need to do, is start right where you are. And the central idea of that talk title is that, can you really start anywhere else except right where you are? Right? Like, that's the only place we can begin, whatever it is. Doesn't matter whether it's a new thing we're doing, whether it's our spiritual practice, whether it's our relationships, our jobs, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, we have to approach it from start right where we are. And, you know, some of you that follow me on social media may have seen that I posted yesterday that yesterday was the 3,500th consecutive day of doing 40 push-ups. A minimum, and it's a minimum of 40. So I know that I've done at least 140,000 push-ups in that time frame. But here's the thing, is that, yeah, I can stand here and go, isn't it great I've done these, but the goal was to actually be able to do 40 push-ups when I was 85. So, and I figured that the best way to assure that was to just start that day. September 17th, 2016 was the Saturday that I sat at my bedside and went, how do I do this if I want to be able to do that? And I was just like, oh, why don't I just start today, and then I'll just do them every day, and then I'll get to age 85 doing 40 push-ups. It'll be fine. That was as much thought as I gave it, and then it was just get it done. However, as much as I love the streak of having that consecutive days, it always begins with today. This is the day I begin the 40 push-ups so that I can get to age 85 and do 40 push-ups. Today is the day that I begin my meditation practice so that I can have a meditation practice. Today is the day I begin my prayer. Today is whatever it is, it's always right now in this moment. You got to start right where you are. And it's lovely to have the history to pull from and to feel good about the accomplishment, and all of those things are wonderful, but it's not actually going to help me going forward, because it always starts with right where I am today, right now, right in this moment. That's the place to begin whatever it is that we're calling upon for ourselves. There's this proverb, the ant, the proverb of the ant, just do the thing. So it says, the lesson is, go to the ant, you sluggard. I love that. It's like, just nails me right there, some of the language. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. And so my takeaway from that, if I look at that, how can this play out in my life, right? How can this play out in your life? That there is no outside commander. There is no force out there that will have you do the things that you need to do to better your spiritual practice, to better your relationships, to better the love you feel. Whatever it is, it's not out there. It's actually within you. And the ant teaches us that they don't require all of that outside noise. They require their instincts, what it is that they're here to do, and they get after it. And we can do the same thing. We can take that lesson of the ant and apply that to ourselves and make it that this is what I'm about, this is what I'm going to do, and get after it. And if we're applying that to our spiritualness, our spiritual practice, or whether we're coming to Unity or going to some other place or tuning in somewhere online, it requires us to bring ourselves there, right? We need to get ourselves there. It's not going to happen from outside of us. And it's not about having a debate with other people or any of that stuff, right? It's all centered on what is important to you, what is important to me. Why would I show up for this? Building that resilience inside that would have us stay with a practice. You know, I'm curious, how many people here have experienced others telling them how they should live? Anybody? Just anybody at all? Yeah. You know, telling you how you should do things, what should be important to you. How does that feel? Right? It doesn't feel very good, right? Yeah. You know, and we would never do that to somebody else, would we? So no, because we don't like it, so we would never think of doing that to somebody else. The point being that from my experience, doing things for other people is wonderful when they come from us. Do you know what I mean? The difference? When we just do things for other people because it's part of who we're being, it's important to us, doesn't it feel different than when you're forced into doing something that you don't really want to do? Yeah. Right? So how do we, maybe the part of showing up just, exactly where we are is figuring out how do we generate that in our lives all the time. And it begins with, of course, starting right where you are. That's the only place you can ever begin. And so part of it looks like being very forgetful. Do you know what I mean by that? So you got to forget a lot of the stuff that's happened in the past, right? We actually have to have a short memory for a lot of things so that we can live the life that we feel we're here to live. That, live from our place of truth, not from somebody else's. And part of it also looks like not living in a place of judgment of others, right? As much as we don't want that in our lives, shouldn't we then demonstrate that in the world as well, from our perspective of to not be in that place? And I know as a father, it's really hard to not want to tell my kids how to do everything. Anybody else had that experience? Yeah. And I've got to say, I'm doing a pretty good job at not telling them how to do things. and just kind of breathing, breathing through the moment. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, you should do that. And especially when they're not looking for your advice. But sometimes we're caught waiting for the right feeling, the right moment, the right person to say the right thing, something outside of ourselves to move us forward, and that's not what we need to do, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. What we need to do is what feels right for us, and we need to, like the ant, we need to self-generate our experience. So prayer, meditation, talking to ourselves, rewiring our thoughts, that's the work that we can do. And of course, it always begins with noticing. We got to notice where we're at. We have to notice what's tripping us up or what has us upset in a moment. You know, like just for example, this past week, you know, I pride myself on having a daily practice of prayer and meditation. And there was a day this week where I got up in the morning and I had a board meeting at 8 a.m. and I totally did not do my morning routine. And I ended up with about 90 seconds of time to actually have a moment of prayer or meditation. And so I wrestled with this. Well, does that count? Does that actually count of having achieved that today? And I get to say, I counted it, so I'm telling you it does. Is it my ideal situation or circumstance? No. I prefer to have a much more in-depth, longer practice than 90 seconds. However, it's what I had in that moment. So I took my own advice and started exactly where I was. This is it. This is what I have. I will make this the best 90 seconds of prayer or meditation I've ever had. And that's it. And move on from it. And not shame myself, not blame myself, not look down at myself for that, to just accept that this is the way my day went. That's it. There's no need to punish. There's no need to be upset. And just count it as, okay, you know, and tomorrow maybe I can do better. Tomorrow maybe I can do more. Or maybe I just get 30 seconds. Work backwards. I'm now down to a half a second of prayer and meditation on a daily basis. I'm so efficient. But here's what shows up if we don't hold ourselves accountable. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. That's from Proverbs as well. So, a city without walls is exposed and vulnerable. You know, you can think of it as, like, have you ever been camping, right? And all your stuff is just out? Doesn't it feel kind of weird when you walk away from the campsite and everything's just kind of out, as opposed to, is it safe? Will it still be here when I come back? And we can think of that in our own lives, of having that word boundaries, right? Walls, of having conditions on which we operate. So part of starting right where you are is also building in those boundaries, those things that are to be done, those must-haves in our lives, right? Putting up in place how we're going to allow ourselves to be treated by ourselves or by others, right? Anybody had a relationship that wasn't working and you needed to remove yourself from it? Yeah. Yeah, and it could be something awful, or it even could just be something that's just not working. You know, it just doesn't feel good. And there's never been a real big argument. There's never been anything destructive that's happened in that, but it just doesn't feel good. And so you maybe move away from that. But those are boundaries. Those are things that we set up for ourselves and allows us to live the life that we would like to live and support the things that we want to support and be in the communities that we want to be in. And it comes from building that those city walls around us of what does my life look like? What's going to work for me? What's not going to work for me? And I'm certainly not suggesting that we should not be in community and that it's all about the individual. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that in order to be a part of the greater community, we actually need to have things that we can set up as self-identifiers, self-confidence, our own little walls around us of this is what works for me. So that we can have those moments to rebuild ourselves, to go off to Kentucky and realize that you could bring more joy to your job, right? Those are the things that happen when we decide this is the way I'm going to operate in my life. So it's not about excluding others. It's actually about building a system that allows you to be as inclusive as possible by making sure you're taken care of, by making sure that you are healthy, that you are in the strongest place possible. And that leads me to one of the foundational pieces of all new thought, unity, is that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Does everybody get that? What that means? That what we think about, what we constantly reaffirm, it's going to show up in our lives. In some capacity, it's going to show up. We are amazing creators. Everything in your life you have created. Hate to tell it to you. But somehow you have been the key. I often think of this, of that, the one thing that was constant in every relationship that hasn't worked out for me has been me. Yeah, I can blame all those other people, but I was part of every one of those, and they don't know each other. So how did that work out that way? So I love this scripture for that. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. And whoever does not have, even what they have, will be taken away from them. So I was thinking about this just in relationship to my daily meditation or prayer practice of what does that actually look like. And so the way I think about it is that the more I practice, I think there's somebody at the door trying to get in, and it may have locked on them. The more that I practice, obviously, the deeper that becomes in me, and the outpicturing changes dramatically. So, when I first discovered the idea of meditation back in 2011 and practiced it for the first time, I did not know then where I would be today, right? But I can see that practice and reaffirming that practice and going back to it time and time again and over, more spiritual ideas, more spiritual connection, more people in my life showed up in that way. So the more that I did it, more was given to me. Do you see what I mean by that? Right? The more that I went to that well, the more I found in it. And I also know that if I stopped my practice, slowly over time, that spiritualness would actually begin to fall off, and less of it would be in my life. That's what that scripture that is telling us, is that when you have more will be given. And when you have less, everything will be taken away. So as you think in terms of less in your life, more will go away from you. But as you think in terms of abundance in your life and gratitude and being appreciative of what you have, more actually shows up. More connections, more opportunities show up as we put ourselves into that awareness. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. I know that a lot of people will look at that, and whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Will constantly look at that in terms of financial success. But it's not just finance. It's in everything that we're doing. That the more that we give something, the more we get from it. More comes back to us in that vein. And there's another scripture that came out of Ecclesiastes, iron sharpens iron. Right? So you can't sharpen iron with a feather. It's just not going to work, right? But iron on iron will begin to sharpen it. And is it without any friction? No. And so we can think of that as one of the greatest gifts that I've received was having somebody like Reverend Patricia in my life, who is somebody that sharpens me. Because I can go to her with any crazy notion that I have in my head about the way I think the world is, and she'll challenge me on it if she's so called to do. And so between her and I, we actually sharpen one another. And it's not always in agreement. Sometimes we disagree vehemently with one another on where we stand on an issue or how we should do, preaching from the front of the room or whatever it is. We might not always be in agreement, but that grinding together, that friction causes, at least from my perspective, causes me to think differently. It actually forces me to reconsider maybe what I do think. Like, oh wow, they really think that's important. Maybe I have this wrong and I need to take a step back from it. And so I would invite you, if you don't have people in your life that you can sharpen your practice with, that you can have conversations with where you are able to speak what's truly on your mind and have a conversation about it. Find those people. I saw a YouTube video a couple of months ago with Johnny Carson and Ronald Reagan was on the Carson show. And he was running, I think he was going to be running for president for the first time. And what fascinated me was the conversation they had. Like, they weren't in agreement, and yet they could have dialogue and talk about it. And I don't know about you all, but I don't see a lot of that in the world today. I see a lot of mudslinging and posturing and using headlines for positioning, but not a lot of actual constructive dialogue between people to find solutions, to find our way through to the next thing. And so I welcome that. I love having conversations with people, and especially when they don't agree with me. I mean, that's the best kind. If you can be civil about it and work through it, you might find something new. You might find that maybe it's not as gray or as black and white as you thought it was, and there might be something else there to see. So I guess in trying to bring this to an end, start where you are looks like, here's what it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like a better version of yourself. Okay, it doesn't look like a comparison to anything. It doesn't look like you need to reconsider your whole life or measure it or weigh it or judge yourself or judge everybody else around you. That's not what it looks like. It actually looks like letting all of that go and just being right where you are right now and making this the first step. And every time you get there, it's the first step. It's not a continuation of anything. It is, but you don't have to think of it in that way. You don't have to think of like, I'm constantly building on something. I'm actually just starting right here today. This is it. This is what I've got. This is the best I can bring to the situation right now. And make that part of your experience. And let go of all of the weight that you might be putting on yourself of how it's supposed to look or what it should look like. Does anybody have that? Does your life look like you thought it would? Getting some no's here. Not a chance. Is it working though? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's not working, I get it. But we find our way through. But it probably doesn't look like you thought it would look when you were 10 years old, or 15 years old, or 30 years old. Or 50, thank you. It might look different than that, but that doesn't mean it's bad, right? And it doesn't mean that we have to reconsider our entire life. Why? What was this all for? It just is how it is. And if we let all of that go, we can actually start right where we are for something different. So if that experience hasn't been what you wanted, guess what? You can start right now. It could be all different. And right now. And right now. And, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Right now. You could just keep starting over and over again. The power is only in the now. I don't know who said that, but... So I will invite you all to just take a few moments with me here, and we'll just invite the silence together and invite the power of this now moment together. And if you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. And be present to this moment. Allow whatever thoughts are in your head, whatever thoughts are coming up. Think of yourself as the observer and take a step back and just notice. You can think of Michael Singer's The Untethered Soul, where he invites you to take a step back and notice the thought. Not like you have to own the thought, just notice it. And in that noticing, you can allow it to pass. Perhaps another thought comes up and you can notice that thought. And again, return to noticing your breath. Breathing in, exhaling. I'm going to invite you all to stay in this contemplative space. I'll invite Jerry up to do another song, and we can sit in this quiet. We can stay in this stillness. And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste.
Choices spinning around me. I sure don't need another term for the words. But when something quiet surrounds me, there's something that I learned. The best is worth waiting for. The best is worth waiting for. From here, when you're living on the sidelines, between a heartache and an open door, that's when the heart cries out for more. Choices still spinning around me, but I sure don't need another term for the words. But when something quiet surrounds me, there's something that I learned. The best is worth waiting for. The best is worth waiting for. How can I last another minute more? Has always been worth waiting for. One of the first things that Thomas said was grateful to be alive. Here's a tune here that about that very subject. I wake up in the morning, open up my eyes, look all around me. What a nice surprise, 'cause I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. It's just the greatest thing. It makes me wanna sing. I'm alive. Because I am alive, I can do a lot of things. I can walk and talk and I can dance and play and sing. I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. It's just the greatest thing. It makes me wanna sing, 'cause I'm alive. Up one eye after a couple cups of coffee. Well, I guess what a nice surprise. I'm alive. Yes, I'm alive. It's just the greatest thing. It makes me wanna sing. I'm alive. Okay, this is the repeat after me portion of the service. Well, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. just the greatest thing. It makes me wanna sing, I'm alive. We got some dancers, so we gotta keep going now. Do that thing again. 'Cause I'm alive. I'm alive.
I'm alive.
Who's alive? Me too, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm alive. It's just the greatest thing. It makes me wanna sing. La 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 la. Even if you can't, you can. I'm alive. Ooh, just the greatest thing. Makes me wanna sing. One more time. I'm alive. All right, we are alive.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
A couple things I want to just handle here. We're going to do a few slides. I've got some couple of quick announcements. So please join me in speaking our abundance affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Love is my source. Love is all. Love is my source. Love is all. Love is my source. Love is all. I'm alive. And I'm alive, yes. And what do we have next? Yes. So, as always, thank you. Thank you so much for your support, whether it's financial, whether it's talent, whether it's time. When I say we, I mean us, all of us. We appreciate it. This is not, my spiritual center in terms of I don't own it. The board doesn't own the spiritual center. You own Unity Vancouver Island. It is your place. And we get to come together, but it's your community, it's your place. And I always treat this as if I own this place and it's my community, so what could I do? What can I do for this community? And I invite you to think in the same terms, that this is your place to come. And if nobody shows up anymore, guess what? We're not going to have it anymore, and that would just be that, right? But as long as it's your place, then I invite you to give how you can, whatever that looks like. And so for those that have, I say thank you. And for those that are going to, I say thank you. It's not expected. It is absolutely appreciated. So you give yourself a thank you. Yes. Yeah. And join me for our children's blessing. And this goes out to not only our children that come here from time to time, that are here, but for all children in the world and the children in each one, the child that is in each one of us. So we see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. Yeah, and now join us for before we get to the prayer for protection, I have a few things. So I want to go back to the prayers that pack a punch. So whether you want to be a chaplain, a prayer chaplain or not, but if you want to learn to pray as in New Thought affirmative prayer, Unity teachings, New Thought teachings, Science of Mind teachings on affirmative prayer, then that's the class for you. You don't have to do anything else afterwards. You don't have to participate in any particular way. But if it's something that you want to learn, then that's what Reverend Patricia and I are holding this class for, is so that if you want to learn how to pray affirmatively and turn those prayers into powerful prayers, not saying they aren't now, but as in an affirmative manner, then join us for that.
And when is that again?
I don't know. It's the last Saturday, I think, this month.
the bulletin.
Yeah, it's in the bulletin. There's 2 Saturdays. I think it's the 29th and here. It is Saturday, April 25th and Saturday, May 9th. So 2 classes for that. And if you can make both, that would be great. So May 3rd, there is no service here in Nanaimo. So I will invite you all to join us online at 11 o'clock for the service that'll be coming from Vancouver. And I will be in Vancouver, so will Reverend Patricia. And that is the Unity Canada conference, but that service is intended to go out to all congregations across Canada for people from across Canada to join in together on that same service. So there won't be a service here May 3rd. So if you come down, you can look through the glass. It'll be amazing. But join us online, and we'll have all the details in the bulletin for that. Yeah. Okay. And today's orientation, again, even if you're a member already of Unity Vancouver Island and you want a little more history or some understanding of Unity teachings or principles, then join me in the library for that at 2:20. And our AGM, there will be news coming out about that, but our AGM is scheduled for June 14th. I'm just giving you the heads up now. So following Sunday service on the 14th of June, we will have our AGM here in this room, and it'll also be online for members in outside communities, in Victoria, in Comox, and wherever else our members reside. Okay, now let's join in for the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. There it is. The light of God surrounds me. I was waiting. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. Amen. That didn't make it to the moon. The "and so it is" didn't go to the moon. Just the first part of the prayer went to the moon. And we're going to do the peace song. Are you ready, Jaron? Slightly.
But you're alive.
Yes.
I don't know what the...
What key? I don't know what key either.
I'll do it in C. So that's... I got...
Let there be peace on earth and that's the rhythm there. That was awesome. Thank you to everybody that made today's service possible. And I also want to just highlight last Saturday's event, Linda King and Brenda. Whoever was involved with last Saturday's family event, amazing. And big shout out to Volunteer Nanaimo. They were awesome. Yeah, and we look forward to doing it again next year. Yes. Yeah.